Alas, poor Ricke. No, that won't work. Alas, awesome Ricke. I'd like to know more. I'm very, very obsessed with time. So I watched a cartoon about a lion that goes around the world in 80 days when I was a kid, and it created a few gremlins and goblins. Like, I only insist on turning up on time, not early, not late. But also there's this funky moment where going around the world in 80 days, he arrives on the 79th day, but he thinks it's the 81st day. But what happens is every time he does a longitudinal shift, he saves 4 minutes on time. So that's kind of time in that way. That's kind of funky. And then I was watching Interstellar, space film, Matthew McConaughey. Love Matthew McConaughey, he's awesome. And during that film, they're in a bookshelf and it's called a tesseract. And I was like, what's a tesseract? And I remember Tesseract was also in Marvel's film with Loki, and there's like a blue square. What's a tesseract? So I looked it up, and it turns out it's a cube. Well, I've got a die here, and so this is my cube, but it's a 4-dimensional cube. The 4th dimension being time. So that was kind of funky. I thought, well, that's quite cool. But where does the word tesseract come from? And it comes from a book by Robert Heinlein. And the idea is that when you look into the cube or the tesseract, you see a reflection of yourself. Well, that was interesting. I thought, well, I want to know more about me, and I want to understand what's going on with me. So when I look into the cube, what do I see? And I thought, well, actually, it's quite a cool coaching concept for that. So if we can look inside the cube and see what's going on in here, in our inner self, and then we can look at what's being projected outside to the rest of the audience, what does that look like? And that was kind of interesting to me. So I kind of developed that concept. And then I looked a bit further and I thought, well, if I look at it as an individual, so for example, what are my beliefs? And then what is my role in life? And is there a contextual link to those two? Or is there dissonance between those two? In which case, do I need to work on those two? Or what is my strategic process in life? And do I have the automations and structures that follow that up? Or do I actually have automations and structures that create issues with that? As a neurodiverse person, I have to have quite a lot of structure because I can go off in all sorts of different directions. And so does it support that or do that not? So that's as an individual level. Then I thought, well, let's have a look at it on a business structural level. So why was a business made? And then where does it sit within its market? And where's the dissonance between those two? So within the cube, we've got our various planes, and we have 6 concepts for the inner, the outer, the individual, and the entity. And then as we revolve around the cube, we look and we see where that dissonance is, but we also look at where those forces interact and contract, and where the pressure of not having a proper system in place to make sure that something happens, does that has an impact on the culture of your team and your staff? Does that then affect your customer performance? So my name is Ricke Williams, Director of Cadre Rocket, and our latest coaching model is the Tessa Act. Thank you very much.